Hello, welcome to a special edition of Crop Life Retail Week. I'm Eric Sfiligoj, editor at Crop Life and Crop Life Iron. I know most of us in the industry, of course, are in the midst of spring. We are here in Ohio. We are also in Illinois, I'm sure, where our guest is from. But a lot of us are actually looking forward. We're looking forward to summer. And of course, every year, one of the big summer events is the Midwest Ag Industries Exposition, better known as the MAGIE Show, which will be taking place in mid-August in Bloomington, Illinois. And I'm happy to be joined this week by the president of the Illinois Fertilizer and Chemical Association, which hosts that event, Kevin KJ Johnson. KJ, welcome to the program.
Hey, thanks a lot, Eric, for having me on today.
Very good. So correct me if I'm wrong, this will be the 43rd MAGIE show, correct?
Yeah, 43rd. It started off in Danville, Illinois, and now has moved to Bloomington. We were a couple years in 2000s in Decatur, but we found a nice home in Bloomington, and that's where the IFCA office is at, but a nice big location to have the MAGIE show with a lot of ride and drive areas, so it's a great place.
Yeah, I was saying, so tell me about this year's event. Anything new and different, and also tell us about some of the old favorites from years gone by.
Yep. So what I think is going to go a lot with the show is talking to vendors. Not that the size of the equipment is going to change, but it's all the technology. Anything to seed a spray or a different company's type of seed and spray, I think that will be the focus of a lot of stuff. But we're hearing more technology, more technology, more technology. The other thing is, and it's just kind of grown over the last few years, the drone part of stuff. When we think of drones, we think of something that's 2 foot across. Now we're talking 10 foot across. And we actually have, I think, 5 drone companies coming that are going to demonstrate their product. So it's really taken off. But the biggest thing about MAGIE, what makes it different than any show in the country, is our ride drive area. You can get any piece of new equipment. And we got about 40 acres to test those pieces out, unfold the booms, put some water in the booms, and see how it actually works. So a lot of great stuff that's going to come this year. But if we're going to talk more technology, it is a lot more at the boom, seeing, spraying, that type of stuff that's going to be showcased this year at the show.
Yeah, I was going to say, I remember being at last year's MAGIE in 2023. And again, like you say, drones. There were a lot of the flying demonstrations going on by, I believe, at least 2 companies that I remember seeing there. So if there's 5 this year, that'll be even a bigger area. So, and I know drone applications have really taken off in them last year. I know some of the rules changed, made things a little easier for folks to manage them and operate them in the fields. And again, like you say, technology. I know the last couple of years, everybody has had something boom related or in-cab related that has been, high tech. I imagine we'll see more AI. I know everybody's talking about artificial intelligence. So tell the folks who are listening to us on this video, again, if they're interested in attending MAGIE or exhibiting, how they find out the information they need.
Yep. So this year's dates are August 21st and 22nd. We're always the 3rd week of August. If you would like to register, we're going to have registration open usually the 1st week of July. That will just go to IFCA.com and you can register. Registration is $12 for early registration. But if you want to come to the door, you're more than welcome to come. It's $15. So just keep watching IFCA.com to register. If you would still like to exhibit at MAGIE, we usually have a pretty good full house, but we always welcome more vendors. Please contact Leslie Forrest at the IFCA office at 309-827-2774.
Very good. Well, I know myself, having gone to about 20 of the MAGIEs in my time in the industry, of course, there are 2 things I look forward to MAGIE besides the equipment, of course, and the technology. One is the food. There is a lot of good food available on the fairgrounds there in Bloomington. I know particularly I love the pork on a stick. I probably consume way too many of those, probably a half dozen or so over the course of the 2-day event. And the other thing, of course, that everybody looks forward to is awards. I know for ourselves here at Crop Life, on our sister publication, Crop Life Iron, we hand out the Showstopper Award, the stop sign shaped award that goes to basically the best in-show product voted on by the MAGIE attendees themselves. But I know IFCA has a couple of awards. One, of course, is the Image Award, if you want to talk about what that is.
Yep. So let me go back to the Showstopper Award. That is a great award, and I will tell you, it's very competitive, and everybody in that crowd is wanting to know if they got the Showstopper Award. So I appreciate you doing that, because those companies take very much pride and say that they won that award that year at the MAGIE show.
Yeah, and
We
along
also
those,
had
before you continue, along those lines, I was just at an event this past week where Fent was opening a new facility, their Fent Lodge up in Jackson, Minnesota, and when we were touring the facility, they had a display case with trophies, and lo and behold, there were a couple of Showstopper awards that they had won over the past years in their display case. That was very nice to see. So continue.
Exactly right. So those companies take that very seriously. Some might say no, but they do take it very seriously to win that, and then, pretty much say that, hey, we are the Showstopper out here. But the other awards that we do give out are the Image Award. It is more the smaller displays and stuff like that, which shows great new industries out there. I mean, it might be harder for a smaller company to compete against a John Deere, a Case, a Althoff, or somebody like that. So we do an Image Award for some of those other companies that are out there that are bringing new technology to the industry to change how ag retailers and farmers do stuff. So we give that award. But then a big award that we also give out that takes a lot of high praise is we do the Custom Applicator Award at the MAGIE show. So on Wednesday afternoon, we kind of have a tailgate party and have all people from the MAGIE show come that afternoon, and we do the Showstopper Award, the Image Award, but then we do the Custom Applicator Year Award. And what we do is we have people apply. You can apply right now. If you have somebody in the state of Illinois that is a custom applicator that you think is going to be above and beyond Call of Duty, please apply at IFCA.com. That registration ends May 22nd.
Okay.
So please get your applications. It's right on our website. But why we've done this award is because, the industry's always, give awards to general managers, board members, stuff like that. But we have not always recognized the average Joe that's in the cab. But you know what? If they don't do their job right, usually that's the first thing that happens. But if they do a job right, they don't always get recognized for it. And we need to, those guys spend a lot of long, hard hours in the cab. We need to recognize those type of people because we don't always recognize them. So we think with the Showstopper Award, we are showing the best what's in the industry of applicators in the state of Illinois.
I was saying, correct me if I'm wrong, KJ, but this is the third year you're doing this?
Yep.
So
this is third year we're doing it.
Yeah. So what for the previous 2 year, the two winners that we've had up in, to this point, 23 and 22, what kind of feedback have you gotten from them after they've actually gotten this honor?
It's a high honor is because it's just getting recognized, but it's not just how many acres you can cover, but who's pushing the best application onto the ground. And because I will tell you, working in Springfield, the first thing I hear is, hey, somebody's doing it wrong. This is showcasing what people are doing right and who are taking care of the industry and they're stewards to the industry doing it. It's just not, hey, we're going to cover so many more acres, but who's doing it the right way. And then at least showing it as the industry, hey, this is how the standards that we want to set for ourselves as applicators in the state of Illinois.
Okay, very good. Well, you mentioned Springfield. I know, of course, that's the state capital there in the great state of Illinois. And, of course, a lot of the legislative work you do with folks regarding our industry in crop protection and fertilizer comes in and out of Springfield. And I'm just curious, 2024, I've heard from other state representatives that this has been a particularly trying year in many regards in their states when it comes to ag regulations. So tell me what's going on in Illinois. Which bits of legislation are you keeping an eye on and a little worried about, perhaps?
Yep. So I would put it in three buckets, and it's coming three worries across this whole session. We have to end in Illinois May 31st. Have to get a budget done. They're kind of working on the last stuff of the budget right now. Early in session, it was all pesticide-related issues. We fought off about 20 different anti-pesticide pieces of legislation here in the state of Illinois. I'm glad to say that we got all 20 of them pushed back. But the two big ones that we were adamantly opposed to was pesticide preemption. Most guys don't even know what pesticide preemption is, but it is the most important thing that we have in the industry. That means that EPA regulates all pesticides, and it comes down to the state level. In Illinois, it's the Illinois Department of Ag regulates that, but it's not a city, county, or municipality that regulates that. So this town of Springfield or Sangamon County, where Springfield is located, can't say we're going to ban Roundup or ban dicamba. It is up to the state of Illinois. So there was a piece of legislation to get rid of pesticide preemption. We knocked that back. There was also a bill in the state of New York last year that came to Illinois this year that pretty much phases out, and we've always had neonics pieces of legislation out there, but actually says it bans all pesticide seed treatment by 27. We pushed that back. So that has kind of been one of those issues that has been out there, but we pushed that back. So most of the pesticide legislation, I think we're in very good shape. I don't see any of that moving. The next bucket that came out that had the industry in just a whirlwind, but all business interests is in a whirlwind, is a thing called CARB. This is the California emission standards for diesel trucks. If you go down the highway, you might see a truck that has a little sticker on the door that says California emission standards. And those trucks pretty much all have DEF on them, or that, what we put in diesel trucks. Those are pretty much all trucks 2000 new or 2011 and newer have that. What CARB has done in California, or these emission standards, pretty much phased out all trucks that don't have DEF on them. There was a legislator in Illinois that wanted to bring that to here from the Chicagoland area. Every business interest pretty much pushed that back. But I think that is going to just keep coming up. He brought it up again in the last week, just kind of making it. And I think this issue is going to come up. So, I mean, I'd love to say every truck is going to have DEF on it in our industry. That'd be a complete lie. Because most of our trucks we have are 20 years old or, from there. So we're watching that legislation. I don't think that's going to move this spring, but I think that's going to be another issue that we're going to have to keep looking at in the future. And this last one is the Illinois Commerce Commission. And it's not really at the legislator, but the Illinois Commerce Commission is looking at natural gas and what does it look like in 20 years in the state of Illinois. And they want to really decarbonize the state of Illinois. Well, let's be honest, natural gas is a hugely important part of the fertilizer industry, but the grain industry. Any nitrogen that is produced in this country or in the world all starts with natural gas. Secondly, any elevator that uses a grain dryer is using a propane or natural gas. These people are talking about heat pumps and stuff like that. We need high intensity heat to dry that grain. So if they're going to go away from a natural gas type of product, it's going to directly affect the ag retail industry, but also the grain industry into the future.
Wow. Okay. Well, good. Well, thanks for updating us on that.
Yep.
One thing I have to ask about, of course, is dicamba. I know I got a note from you. You were sending out to the members, reminding them of what the cutoff dates were. But what are you hearing about dicamba sort of beyond the cutoff dates for this year and the future for that crop protection product going forward?
Well, two things on dicamba. One, if you're in Illinois or if you're in one of the I states, Illinois, Iowa, or Indiana, just remember May 13th is the cutoff for sale or movement of that product to farmers. So if you're going to sell a 2.5 gallon mini bulk to a farmer, that sale must be done by May 13th. Now you can custom apply that product till June 12th.
Okay.
But the sale of that product to a farmer or anybody else or from a retailer must happen by May 13th. I want to make that very clear on this. Going into the future, Bayer did put in an application to EPA here this last week. What we are hearing is that they are going to just ask for the application of pre to soybeans. That post-application of dicamba will be gone.
Oh, okay.
We are hearing that BAS and Syngenta are probably likely to do the same thing in the coming weeks. But Bayer did lay that out this week that they will probably just go to a pre-type product going into the future.
Interesting. Okay. Well, I appreciate that update. I'm sure our viewers, we've been following the whole dicamba issue for several videos. So thanks for the update on that as we move forward. So KJ, of course, since you're in the chair,
yep,
I have to make you play our favorite segment of the show. Time for Fun with Numbers. So, okay, I got a pretty big number for you, KJ. You may want to write it down if you want to reference it.
Okay.
It's 97,014. 97,014. 97,014.
Okay.
That's the number. So, KJ, is that A, the number of U.S. farms reporting wheat production in 2022? Is it B, the number of U.S. farms reporting cotton production in 2022? Is it C, the number of U.S. farms reporting canola production in 2022? Or is it D, the collective number of steps taken by the CropLife and IFCA staffs at the 2023 MAGIE show?
I would definitely have to say D on a lot.
I think you add us all together, our groups, and it's probably darn close. So
exactly right. I would say D, but let's go with wheat.
A correct answer. Yes, my friend. Yeah, this was. I ran across this item from our friends at USDA. I guess they do a census every couple of years regarding what crops are being grown by how many farms, and in 2022, which is the last the year where they have data for, there was 97,014 farms that reported wheat production. Now, significantly, that was a 43% decline from the 2002 census they did, when there was 169,528 farms that were producing wheat. So
I would actually say in the state of Illinois, there is more guys growing wheat just in southern Illinois that are double cropping it.
Yep.
So I'm actually surprised at that, but because I actually think the number of wheat acres, I'm not going to say hugely, but are actually going up in the state of Illinois.
Yeah, no, they might be. But again, nationally, I guess the number is down pretty significantly in the last 20 years. So.
Right. Okay.
All right. Well, KJ, listen, it was a pleasure, as always, having you on our program. Thank you so much for joining us on behalf of IFCA. And for you folks who are planning to go to the MAGIE show here in August, look for myself at KJ on the fairgrounds in Bloomington, taking our 97,000 steps apiece. And for everyone else, thanks for joining us for this week's edition of CropLife Retail Week. We'll see you again soon.
If you have questions or comments about today's episode of Retail Week, contact us by email or Twitter, or type your message in the comment section below. Your feedback is important to us. We will try our best to address your thoughts in next week's episode, and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel.